Hi, I'm Gregg Krech, and I've been teaching Japanese psychology at the Todo Institute for about 27 years now. Based on my experience, I'd like to share with you what I consider to be the four most common reasons that people suffer and find it difficult to cope with some of the challenges and problems that they encounter in life. The first reason is that people find it difficult, sometimes almost impossible, to accept what they can't control. Now, much of what we encounter in life is actually uncontrollable. Yet we spend a tremendous amount of energy trying to get life to conform to our preferences and desires. Inevitably, we're going to run into events or people or illnesses or crises where we have no real control over the situation. And in those circumstances, we have to learn to accept the situation, or we'll find ourselves buried in some very difficult feelings like anxiety, resentment, even depression. The second reason is probably the least popular, so I just want to be very honest and straightforward about it. The second reason is self-preoccupation. Too often we find that our attention is focused on our body, its aches and pains, our feelings, our emotions, our thoughts, our disappointments, our discomfort. And what we've found over the years is that the research shows that self-focused attention is associated with nearly every psychiatric disorder. So a healthy mind is engaged with life and with the world around it. It's curious, it's connected. And when we get wrapped up in our own little world, we find that those are situations where we're much more likely to suffer and to struggle. The third reason is how we cope with our feelings and emotions, particularly strong feelings like anger or depression or anxiety. Too often we let those feelings determine what we do and don't do, how we act and don't act. And when we do that, what we find is that instead of responding to the situation in a constructive way, what we're doing is just simply reacting to our inner state, our inner feelings at the moment. And that gets us into a lot of trouble. So what we want to learn to do is to coexist with those feelings while we still move ahead and take some kind of constructive action to deal with the needs of the situation. Now, the next reason that we suffer, I think, has to do with our inability or maybe unwillingness to reflect on ourselves in relationships. We spend a lot of time and energy judging, examining, criticizing the behavior of other people, members of our family, the people that we work with, for example, but we spend very little energy examining our own conduct towards others. And so we find that instead of being in a situation where we're going through life appreciating the support and help that other people are giving us, that instead what we end up doing is just going through one complaint after another about other people's behavior and how they're treating us. Now, do you know anyone whose struggles or suffering is related to any of these four reasons? Or maybe more importantly, if you look at your own life, is there anything that you can see where some of your difficulties and challenges are related to these four reasons? Now, if there is, the solution is not insight or talking to a therapist in an office or even changing your thoughts. The solution is developing skill. Each of these areas that I've mentioned is associated with a skill. So, for instance, the first skill is acceptance. Number 2 is working with your attention. Number 3 is learning to coexist with your feelings while taking some kind of constructive action. And then the final skill, the fourth skill, is self-reflection. Those are the 4 skills. So if you can develop each of these skills, you're in a better position to be able to cope with some of the problems, difficulties, even crises that kind of life throws at you as you go through your days and your months and your years. Now, I am going to be teaching a course that starts Wednesday, September 16th. It's actually coming right up. And it's called A Natural Approach to Mental Wellness. It's based on the book I've written by the same name. And it's a course that's based on developing these 4 skills that I've been talking about. So the foundation of the course is really an everyday ongoing practice or exercise that you can do over a period of a month. The course is a month long. And so each day you'll have an exercise that you can work on to help you develop one or more of these skills. Now, what I'm hoping is that by the end of the month, you'll be in a place where you've developed more skill in these areas, and you'll be able to then deal with your life situations that come up in a much more effective way. So if you're interested in joining me for this course, you can either go to our website to get more information, or you can contact me by email at the address that I'm providing on this slide. But in any case, I hope that you'll join us for this upcoming course that starts on Wednesday. And thanks, and have a great day.